On the 5-Minute Leadership Podcast, I always talk about how to solve the leadership shortage in whatever kind of organization you lead. But for the next few episodes, I want to take a slight detour and talk about how to do ministry without destroying family. Now, if you're not in vocational ministry, then the title for you is How to Succeed at Work and at Home at the Same Time. In June of 2016, Deborah and I were in Manila Skyping with James, our middle son, who at the time was 27 years old. He was calling to see if I wanted to go to New York City with him and his brothers to watch the U.S. Open. We had a great time together. I am so grateful that my adult sons still want to hang out with their dad, even though they don't need me to pay for the flights or the food or the tennis tournament tickets. For those with young children, I tell that story for you to get a vision of healthy, life-giving relationships with your adult children. Now, that may be hard to imagine right now when you have toddlers crawling around in diapers, but one day they will grow up and one day they will be adults, and I pray that you will enjoy a life-giving relationship with all of your children at every age and through every stage. I want to read a Bible verse that shaped my view of calling, vocational ministry, marriage, family, and parenting long before I had any children. I have studied this verse, preached this verse, prayed this verse. I've repented this verse countless times while trying to raise 3 sons. Hebrews 11:7 in the ESV. By faith, Noah, when being warned by God concerning events as yet unseen, in reverent fear constructed an ark for the saving of his household. The NIV says it like this: by faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. We think of Noah as the man God used to save the world, but that's not how the writer of Hebrews describes him. Noah built a boat to save his family, to save his household. It seems that saving the world was a byproduct of saving his family. That saving his family was the motivation, the goal. For Noah, obeying God and saving his family were not mutually exclusive. It's way too common for business leaders, and especially ministry leaders, to wrongly believe that they have to choose between career and family, between calling and family. When we accept this false dichotomy between career and family, calling and family, ministry and family, we end up losing family as we attempt to do our calling, career, and ministry. We lose family as we attempt to save the world. Too many good people succeed at work, but fail at home. Many years ago, God used 2 seemingly successful pastors to help me prioritize family above ministry. In 1984, I was new in the Philippines. I had a small little campus group, and I went around interviewing pastors of large churches in Manila. Most of them didn't have time for me, but one of them, the pastor of one of the largest churches in the city at the time, when I asked him how he reached so many people in the city, how he had such an impact, he dropped his head, and I could sense the sadness. And he said, you have to be willing to pay the price. Are you willing to pay the price? And I was energetic, a young church planter, and I said, yes, I'm ready to pay the price. But then he said, building this church cost me my sons. And he went on to explain that his sons no longer were involved in the church and no longer really wanted to have anything to do with him or the church. I walked out of his office vowing never to make that choice between family and ministry. I walked out saying I have to figure out how to do family and ministry. I didn't even have children then, but I knew one day that I would. A few years later, I was in a church growth conference with a pastor of a massive church, and I was with 600 pastors, and I heard that pastor say with the same sadness that the other pastor said, that pastor said to all 600 of us, I have failed as a father. Those words haunted me. And again, I left that conference determined not to do that. May God give us all the grace to lead at home in a way that saves our families and ultimately saves our campuses, our communities, our cities, and our countries.